Hello, my name is Lucas Schreiner. I'm in Mr. West Period 2 and 3 Advanced Drafting class, and this is my first semester final. My project for this semester was a desk ornament that helped me hold stuff on my desk. I only did one project this semester because it took a while, but it definitely helped me with design errors. A quick project overview. My problem is that I do a lot of projects at home, and I needed a box on my desk to store a lot of small stuff, keep it nice and organized. My general thoughts for this was I do have an interest in World War II tanks, so with the help of CAD, I designed a box in the shape of a tank to fix my problem. I designed this project in multiple sections in order to overcome some small engineering problems like bending pieces of wood. My initial design for this project was to make a box that replicated the Germany's Panzer VIII Maus tank. Some basic research in the model simple aesthetics, such as the amount of road wheels replicated here, or some stuff like making the barrel a holder for pencil, whatever pencil I would need to have quick access to instead of bothering opening the box. My first drawing was done manually, front, side, top, and it was just a rough sketch just to see how everything would turn out. After my manual drawing, I moved to AutoCAD and made this drawing right here. I found dimensions that way, got a general idea of what the tank was going to look like, and then from there I went to the inventor model, mainly to get a top view of the turret to see how the front sloping was going to look like from a top view, which is then placed here. Getting into my first prototype, I made a turret, which was created to be the lid, and the gun mantle had a hole in it to hold the pencil. This was just a flat sheet of cardboard on the bottom that would sit on top of the hull, which was designed to replicate the size and shape of the mouse. My design process for my turret front, before I could come up with a solution like this, I decided to just cut a simple piece of cardstock to fit the shape and then curved it around, eliminating the need to mess with any cardboard and bending it in weird ways. After that, I came up with the first design, shown here in my AutoCAD file. My thought process behind this was to just remove as much material as possible to try and make it more flimsy. That did not work, but my final product for something like that came out to be this, which is just a whole lot of cuts, allowing gaps in the material to make it bend. Other tests went into these things, such as these, to see if I could replicate small keychains of it, and this testing helped me figure out that we cannot do these kind of cuts on thin material. And by thin piece of material, I just mean the width of it. We tested these on sheets that were 1 inch wide, and it wouldn't give us the bend we wanted. After coming up with this design to cut, I then printed it out, and after a couple prints and fixing some settings with our laser cutter, I did finally get to a prototype that actually bent and curved the way I wanted to, and then I made another piece as my final product with a hole in it for the pencil. Another small, neat design feature I came up with was how I was going to design the tracks. I made a template here to lay the road wheels in to make sure that they were lined up, and then to make the tracks over the road wheels. At first we had thoughts like the AutoCAD file to try and make these cuts, but after design errors with these, because I decided that we would not be able to do it with pieces that aren't wide, I came to the conclusion that I was not going to be able to do it with the tracks, so then I came to the conclusion of soaking wood and making it pliable that way. And where I'm at now with it, my tracks have been soaking, and then I pulled them out of water. They unfortunately were not pliable enough due to the adhesives in the plywood, so now it leaves me with the problem of finding a final way to do this. And then after those put on, paint and other aesthetics will be applied, finishing off the model. A couple interesting design features I learned with this project is, well, the main one is these kind of cuts to be able to bend the wood. It helped out a lot in the designing of the turret, allowing us to make this curved slope at the front without having to get funky and try and figure out weird ways of solving it when it could just be cut through. Another thing I learned is don't be afraid to test and test and test. Prototypes help out a lot. Coming up with this did not help at all, but it did lead me to my final product. And then from my final product, I moved on to other tests in the middle of my project to try and figure out if this could be replicated on different sizes of sheets. And that allowed me to come to the conclusion that it would not work for, say, the tracks, which meant that I would have to come up with a different design to try and figure out a method that would actually work and give me the results I wanted.